Coming up on KUJH News, a sporting goods store is making a change in selling guns, and it centers around assault rifles. And high schoolers in Lawrence will be getting a little extra sleep next year. We'll tell you why.
Plus, find out what Barbara Streisand did to keep her dog alive. Sort of. I'm Ellis Wiltsey.
And I'm Mackenzie Davis. All that and more starting now on KUJH News.
From the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
People in Lawrence won't be able to get assault rifles in Dick's Sporting Goods anymore. The chain has decided to voluntarily pull them from their shelves. Stores like the one on South Iowa Street are also raising the minimum age for gun sales to 21. The move comes after the Parkland High School, Florida school shooting that killed 17 people. Dick's CEO Edward Stack says the company felt the need to take a stand after the shooting.
You know, everybody talks about thoughts and prayers going out to them, and that's great. That doesn't really do anything, and we felt that we needed to take a stand and do this.
Walmart stopped the sale of semi-automatic weapons in its stores in 2015, but stores such as Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's will continue to sell them. Our Secretary of State has a different opinion than Dick's Sporting Goods owner. Kris Kobach is advocating for the National Rifle Association to hold their annual convention in Kansas. He tweeted that the Kansans love the right to keep and bear arms. He also said he reached out specifically to the NRA, saying Kansans are dedicated to protecting the Second Amendment. The NRA has not replied to the tweets.
South Middle School will change its name to Billy Mills Middle School beginning July 1st for the 2018-2019 school year. The Lawrence School Board voted for the change at its Monday meeting. Mills is a Native American who won the 1964 Olympic gold medal in the 10,000-meter run. He attended both Haskell Indian Nations University and KU. High school students can start looking forward to some extra sleep in the future, but they'll have to wait until 2019 to get it. The Lawrence School Board voted to push school start time back to 8:30 starting in August 2019. Board member Rick Ingram went so far as to suggesting this fall, but others say the district needs some time to organize all aspects of the change.
College is already a stressful time for students, but could your parents be adding to that stress? KUJH reporter Taylor Thomas took a look into what may be happening.
The former dean at Stanford University, Julie Lymphcott, says the 1990s is the first time she saw parents highly involved on a college campus. Lymphcott says parents of students sought opportunities, made decisions, and problem-solved for their children in a way that students on college campuses across the U.S. used to do for themselves. Senior education student at the University of Kansas, Melissa Feast, says she is nervous and scared, but also ready for a new chapter.
I've never been all on my own before and having to provide for myself.
And Melissa isn't alone. The Chronicle of Higher Education released a survey that stated 2 out of 3 students felt emotionally unprepared in their first semester of college. They also say that students who are able to make friends, handle financial situations, have a better experience their first year of college. The stress of being an adult after college can oftentimes come from someone who is intending to be helpful, parents. They are letting their students depend too much on their aid. Program Director for the Health Education Resource Office in Watkins Health Center, Jenny McKee, has counseled students for 10 years. McKee says students don't have to look for their own answers or reach out to a school resource because mom is just a call or a text away. Parents don't cut the umbilical cord or let their students become uncomfortable. This is unlike McKee's college experience at KU.
My parents dropped me off. I had no cell phone. People didn't have cell phones regularly like they do now. And while my mom and dad and I exchanged handwritten letters a couple of times, I did not speak to my parents until November when I went to their house to celebrate Thanksgiving with them.
McKee also remembers having to teach her college roommates basic skills because their parents hadn't.
I remember literally showing one of them how to use a can opener.
Having your parent care for you can actually be hurtful to a degree. This generation has been taken care of more because of cell phones and the ability to constantly be in contact. From Lawrence, Kansas, I'm Taylor Thomas with KUJH-TV.
The Stanford study also says students are lacking basic living skills because their parents are overly controlling of their children's lives, denying the kids a chance to learn and develop.
You've heard the advice, remember where you came from. And for one KU alum, remembering where he came from will pay big dividends for KU. Jackson Kurtz is live in the studio with more information on who will be recipients. Jackson?
Yep, that's right. After more than 40 years, a KU graduate is back on campus, and he is giving back to his school in a big way. Chad Lead, a Wall Street executive, is donating $1 million in support of LGBTQ student scholarships. The donation comes from Lead being one of the few openly gay executives on Wall Street, and him wanting to give back to his former school and help students like him to give them a chance to succeed. They are honored to have someone like Lead taking charge and giving back to their students. Ellis?
And that's a great story, having our alumni come back. And also, it's great that the weather is warmer. Brittany's here, dressed for spring.
Definitely. It doesn't really feel like spring that much today. We are above average from normal, though. Very nice. We're at a temperature right now here in Lawrence at 55 degrees, although it is kind of sad and dreary outside because temperature or clouds are mostly cloudy outside. So very cloudy and gray. We were supposed to have some showers starting to move through the area right now. Nothing as of now. Still a chance though later on this evening. Although pretty fairly calm winds though compared to what we were doing with yesterday. It was very windy as we were walking to class for a majority of the day yesterday, but different as we were going to head this end of this week. Here's your weather headlines. You can see today was very cold and we have those spotty showers going, like I said, into this evening. Although temperatures to end this week are going to be very mild and a big warm up is on its way with a chance of rain into this weekend. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brittany. Coming up on KUJH News, the president's son-in-law no longer has access to the nation's top secrets.
And a Maryland man spent his day walking across a high wire 75 feet in the air. We'll tell you why when we come back. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas students went back to school today with the memory of the 17 who were killed 2 weeks ago fresh in their minds. Meanwhile, businesses and lawmakers across the country are debating what, if anything, to do in response. Kristen Holmes has the very latest.
The morning began with a 17-second moment of silence. 1 second for every life lost at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas 2 weeks ago.
Those 17 people were our friends. We knew them, and it's important that we don't forget them.
Emotions high.
The range was like a roller coaster.
As students resumed classes for the first time since the horrific shooting, for a return that was anything but normal.
My English teacher, she was grazed by a bullet. She showed us her wound. She talked about what happened, and I think it's important that we all talk about it.
With heightened security and hallways filled with grief counselors and emotional support dogs, students began the morning in fourth period, the classroom they were in when the massacre took place.
It started to hit us more. We started to go back into those same places and think that we were here.
A day the principal said was focused on compassion rather than curriculum. Students honoring those killed, flowers placed on their empty desks. The Parkland shooting reigniting the gun control debate. Students pleading with Congress and President Trump for change. While the government seems stalled on the issue, one major gun retailer is taking action. Dick's Sporting Goods announcing it will no longer sell assault-style rifles, like the one used in Florida, and it will no longer sell guns to anyone under 21.
If these kids are brave enough to organize and do what they're doing, then we should be brave enough to take this stand, and that's what we've done.
I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
The morning began with a 17-second moment of silence, 1 second for every life lost at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas 2 weeks ago.
Here's a quick look at news from across the nation. Paul Manafort is pleading not guilty to new charges in the 2016 Russia election meddling investigation. The charges former Trump campaign chairman faces include money laundering, conspiracy, and making false statements. The trial will start on September 17th in Washington. Manafort also faces another trial in Alexandria, Virginia. Those charges involve 18 counts of tax and bank fraud with former Trump campaign aide Rick Gates. The White House downgraded Jared Kushner's security clearance level, limiting his ability to view highly classified information. The presidential son-in-law and senior advisor had the highest level of interim clearance but never completed a background check. The White House downgraded his security level to a secret, a classification for less sensitive material. President Trump has the ability to grant Kushner a permanent clearance but says he's leaving the decision to his chief of staff. A world-famous high-wire performer left people amazed when he nearly stumbles walking on a tightrope. Nick Walinda moved slowly across a thin high wire he strung between two buildings in Maryland. At 75 feet high, he nearly took a tumble off the cable, which is only as thin as a nickel. Walinda performed the daring stunt to warm people up for a circus coming in March. He alone holds 10 tightrope world records.
Well, that is my absolute nightmare, but if you want to know a little more about my dream, coming up we'll find out just what Barbra Streisand did to keep her dog alive. You really want to stick around, but I don't have the money for that. And then Brittany will give us a look at what's coming up on the weather.
Yes, coming up, we're going to have some interesting weather to end off this weekend and a very nice weekend, although we will have more chances of storms going into the start of new work week.
Brittany is back with some good news for the weekend, warming up.
Warming up, nice temperatures in the 60s to start off and end this week and go into the nice weekend. It's going to be very nice as we head on through, but today doesn't feel very nice as of now. That's because we have a lot of clouds outside. Gray cirrus clouds, or stratus clouds, I should say, and that's because we should have some storms and showers moving through the area. Not much right now. It's moving off to the east of us, but it will move through the area a little bit closer, and you can thank all these gross clouds because of a cold front that we had move through the area. You can see on Kansas, that big cold front that cut through over the area is what mainly is causing all that rain for the majority of the central United States. Has been moving through, so not much right now. Later on, we have a chance into this evening for a chance more of the rain. You can see on radar, a lot of that rain is popping up though, right into the regions to the east of us. You might hear later on tonight a few rumbles of thunder though, so here's what you can expect. Multiple showers, very small if we do have anything, really much like basically drizzles if anything. Along with that, it's going to be mainly during your evening commute. You won't even need to have the windshield wipers on that high, just a little bit. Like I said, just a little bit of a drizzle. And you might even hear some thunder due to those storms that are out to the east of us. Overall, though, nothing bad compared to what we had last week. So very nice evening forecast for you. We're going to start off with those mid-50s by 5 o'clock. We will quickly cool down because of that cold front. Those clouds are going to continue to stick around as we head through the remainder of this evening. Although temperatures aren't going to drop too bad, it's still going to be pretty nice. Here's your rainy Sunday into Monday forecast. This is the next big storm system that we have moving through the area. We're going to have more chance of heavier rain for this storm system. It's going to start Sunday evening and move into Monday morning. So your morning commute for that start of the new work week is going to be pretty easy. Going to be interesting. Make sure you can keep in mind maybe having a few rumbles of thunder for this system as well. But overall, it's going to be a lot heavier and more interesting compared to what we have going on tonight. Here's your extended forecast. You could see 50s for today. Or into your Thursday as well. We're going to keep on the 50s for the end of this week, and then by Sunday and Saturday, we're going to go back into the 60s. Very nice weekend. As you can see, Saturday is going to be the best day of all this weekend, and eventually going into Sunday, that storm system moves through, and then the end of the week or the start of the next work week, we'll start off and go back into the temperatures in the 40s. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brittany. No surprise with the rain, considering it's almost March, but here's the surprise. How far would you go to save the life of your furry best friend? Barbra Streisand went so far as to clone her dying dog twice. The legendary singer has three Côte d'Ivoire dogs. Excuse me, I am not French. 2 of them come from the clone cells of 14-year-old Samantha, who died last year. The singer says the clone dogs are different personalities than Samantha, and so far they have different colored eyes. If you are interested in cloning your pet, start saving up because it can cost you upwards of $50,000.
I do not have $50,000, but I would love to clone my pet.
Yes, I have Ashes from my first dog that died, and I would love to have him back, but of course, I don't have the money like she does, so we'll see. And that's your KUJH News for Wednesday, February 28th.
To see our stories again or to share them with your friends, check out our website at tv.ku.edu.
Join us Friday at 3 p.m. for our entertainment news show, The Next. Have a good night.